Hello everyone, Hamas28 here, and today we're back in the world of Dusty Hell. Let's get right into it. So, as we left off last episode, we finally obtained our solar dust, and with that, we're going to be able to finish off the second to last chapter in the pack, by combining it with our aerothium, petrothium, cryothium, and pyrothium to make our, I already forgot what it's called, mana dust. Now, before we combine it, we are going to need a display stand and empowerer to mix it all together, so we're going to craft that right now. Now, you may notice from last episode, there's a little bit more AE items. It's actually not really needed. I just kind of built it because I wanted stuff to go a little bit smoother with the auto crafting, but most of it's not actually going to do anything for the rest of the pack because everything can be crafted just from our crafting terminal. I just thought it looks really cool, especially to have the big controller connected to a bunch of cables that span around everywhere. But really the only big thing I built was this crafting thing for the auto crafting, a machine to automatically make obsidian for our AE system, and then something to make pure Certus and Fluix, not blocks, items. Now, funny enough, I did update the pack to the latest version, and it seems to have broken the phytogenic insulators. Because remember how I said seeds that came from the sieving thing didn't work, but if you craft them manually with sand and, what was it, and dust, that did work? Well, now they stack, but now neither will actually go into the phytogenic insulator, which I found pretty funny. Now, that didn't hurt me too much because I can still make more Certus from skystone blocks and sifting those to get more, and then I can turn those into seeds. So I didn't run out entirely, but it did break that thing a little bit. Now my body is hot. I thought I had my... Why aren't you working? Okay, there we go. I think it's on now. But I digress. We're here to craft some items. So we're going to need a display stand. As you can see, I really like this craft because it gives you everything you need to make the empower as well, since you get 5 of them. Usually you only can make 1 at a time. So this is a little bit of a time saver. But you can see we're missing electrical steel blocks, we're missing the enhanced machine chassis, and 2 vibrant crystals. Now we can actually just craft these pretty easily. This guy will take end steel chassis and enderium, so I'm going to set that up to auto craft. So if we come in here, this guy, 1 end steel, 8 enderium, goes into the induction smelter, and they should have one right here. So now I should be able to tell it to make one of these. If I just scroll down to the bottom here. Where is... Oh, right, there it is. The enhanced machine chassis. But it does take an end steel chassis. I didn't realize that. This one's easy to do, though, so we'll set up an autocraft for this. And this, I think we have the items, and it should know how to make the rest. So I'll go ahead and throw that into the molecular assembler. And now we should be able to craft it. We need obsidian powder. Does it not know how to make obsidian? I thought I put that in here. Oh, because it wants to use a different one. That's what's a little bit annoying about these crafts. Is that if you take a look here, hardened glass, there's different types of obsidian powder, and I need to change this for it to work. So if I grab the hardened glass pattern, we should be able to just remake this. So now if I type hardened glass, and this is one of the few times I think enabling substitutions should be useful. Yeah, see, there we go. And, oh, it doesn't let you enable substitutions. Interesting. But I think this is the one we actually do have. Yes. Okay, so we encode this one. Throw this back into our induction smelter. And now if I tell it to make one of our chassis, it should work. Perfect. Now hopefully it actually functions as intended. I did notice there was a couple issues setting up some of the auto crafting. Like for the electric compressor, this guy's a little annoying because he inputs on the top and only outputs on the bottom, so that's the only way to get the items out. The other stuff was pretty straightforward. You just had to have item ducts pull all of them out from the thermal expansion machines. And then for making the, what is this stuff? For making gelid enderium and resonant flux ducts, I just had to use a ME interface into a chest. That way I can just melt down the gelid. That way I can melt down the cryoethium into the gelid version and then mix it in the fluid transposer. But that works out pretty well. So let's wait for that to craft. Yeah, I noticed sometimes the machines get stuck, and I'm not sure why. So I just manually threw in the obsidian into the pulverizer, and that automatically sent it back into the interface, which made it work. And there we go, one enhanced machine chassis. Let's scroll down to the bottom, it's right there. So now we should be able to craft our display stand. That's what it's called. Oh, never mind. We're still missing the vibrant crystals. Now these guys are pretty easy to make. We just need 2 control circuits. Hold control to mass order. So let's just make 2 of these. Pretty easy. Done. Vibrant crystal. Where's the crystals at? Ah, there we go. It ordered the creation of these, but didn't actually put them in. So there's 1, and then do it again. And looks like we're gonna need a bit more plastic, so let me run downstairs and get that. There we go, 4 stacks of plastic, should be good enough. Now make the final crystal. Throw those in there and make our 5 display stands. Done. Now we need to use one of these, and I thought there was a quest for this. Ah, there we go, quest completed, display stand. Now we can use one of these to make the empowerer. And what did it just craft? Oh, I think it made another enhanced machine chassis. Actually, oh, it made the elite control circuit. So we still need 2 of these electrical steel blocks. Combine that into this to make our empowerer. And with that, the quest is completed. And it gives you another display stand. Why do I actually need 2 of these? I don't think you need 5, right? You just need 4? Yeah, you just need 4 display stands and 1 empowerer. Anyways, so now we just need to combine all of our dusts here with the solar dust to make the mono dust. And let me grab some flux ducts to power this. Let's see, can I make some resonant flux ducts? Let's just make, let's see, where do I have power? I also need room. I guess we could put it outside. And with that, the resonant flux ducts are done. It's so nice being able to just craft these at will. Let's grab some dust. So we're going to need some pyrotheum, some cryotheum, petrotheum, and erothium. Now, as you remember, this is actually pretty easy to build. You just place your 5 display stands. I believe they have to have 2 spaces in between. Then you place the empowerer in the center, and just make sure they're all powered. And it only has to be the display stands that actually have energy, as you can see. So we'll just run these cables all around, and that's not enough cables. Let me grab some more. And there we go. So they're all connected. I'm not sure how fast they're going to drain, though. I think if you take a... What are you doing here, buddy? If we take a look at the quest book, it doesn't actually say how much power it sucks, which is interesting. Usually it does. Why is this guy right here? Should I? No. It's not worth it. So we put our solar dust, grab our theums, pyrotheum, cryotheum, petrotheum, and erothium, and it starts working. Let's see, the power drain doesn't seem to be too big at all, and it's done. Actually pretty fast as far as the empowerer goes. I'm used to this taking a lot longer. And with that, energy in its purest form. And why is this Enderman bothering me? Now we can mix this with a block of Enderium with 3 more to make a block of mana infused metal. And why did he just disappear like that? That's so weird. So I'm going to go ahead and make 3 more. And let's grab ourselves a block of Enderium from downstairs and mix it all together. Now I did go through the quest book and it seems like there's actually not even too much stuff we need to craft with this. Anyway, let's see. So what did I need actually? Not this. I don't want to... That's so annoying. How do I... Let's see. Mana. Block of mana infused metal. Block of Enderium. Craft that. Thank you. Thankfully, ever since I hooked up the AE system to the mob farm, why are there 2 of these guys? That's not good. Yeah, they can't escape that, that's for sure. It's really funny the way that works. Usually they can teleport away from arrows, but since these ones explode, they have a lot more trouble getting away. So now we just place our block of Enderium with our mana dust. And that'll make our mana infused metal. Done. Mithril. And it gives us back the block of Enderium. And now we can mix this to make the ultimate control circuit. Now, luckily I did set up the autocrafts for the other circuits, so it should be as easy as just putting the mana infused ingots in there and typing ultimate control circuit in order to craft it. Oh, we just have to craft all the other stuff. So you can see it's going to craft the basic, then the elite, then the ultimate. It's going to craft the basic, then the elite, then the advanced, then the ultimate. And done. So now we just click this again, move items, and ultimate control circuit completed. And with that, another hell is done. The magnum opus. And now we've finally unlocked Shipbuilding 101. Well, here it is. Your blank canvas for you to finish building. Make your ship now. And it looks like our task is to make a space station. Which, if you remember, involves going up into the atmosphere and setting up a base there. Now it seems like there's an ender something in here. Let me put away the stuff I don't need. And let me see. So if we click U on this, yeah, these are the only two things we can craft, the blue heart container and the dimensional transceiver. Both pretty useful items. Not stuff we'll really need. And then for lazy AE2, you can also make these really nice processors for making some very advanced machines, but I don't think we're going to need them for this pack. Now let's take a look at what we're going to need to go to space. And first things first, I'm going to need some oxygen. Where did I put the rest of my tanks? You know where I bet they are? I bet they're in this chest. Yep, there they are. I'm going to fill these up. And we're not making the same mistakes as last time. Actually, now that I think about it, how do I actually make a space station? Because usually you just take the rocket and go up, but since we're going into space, I wonder how that works. Now, you might have been wondering as well, what is that over here, and what is that over here? So I was just building a big platform for the spaceship. I was building a big platform for the spaceship because I didn't realize that you actually have to build the, the space station. I thought you just had to build it on the overworld, which was not the case. So it's kind of just left over, which doesn't really do anything. It just kind of looks cool. But this monument over here is actually my endergenic generator setup, which if you remember from right over here in Expedient Solutions, these guys are a bit expensive, but not many generators can provide this much power. This is what I'm using to currently power the base over most of our other stuff. As you can see, it's currently generating about 7,300 RF per tick, and it actually goes even higher. It's only doing that much because it can only store that much right now as it gets pulled out. As you can see, it's full of RF at 193 million RF, so it's using about as much as it generates. And it was really useful. So you can see there's the cable that is filling the pearl injector with our ender pearls and making power. Now, I don't know where I left my smart wrench, otherwise you can see it functioning, but you can see it works out pretty well. Now, this is not the design we're going to be using on the spaceship, at least not yet, just because it's a little too big. The version I'm going to use on the spaceship is much more compact. It just uses more of these sequencers and the pearl thingamabobs. Now, if you want to know how to build this yourself, just Google endergenic generator design, because honestly, I just followed the tutorials to the letter and just did what they said. I tried to understand the mechanics behind it, but this is just too big brain for me. It's all about timings, and tick rates, which I just don't really understand that well, so I just let the other people that already made the design give me a good design. But anyways, enough rambling. Let's check out our rocket here. We have a fuel tank, so we can actually go up into space to see what it's going to cost to make the space station. Alright, so now that we're at the galaxy map, if we click Overworld, you can see a space station can be created here. And to make a space station, we'll take 64 tin wall blocks, 32 mana-infused ingots, 16 enhanced machine chassis, 16 octadic capacitors, and 16 ultimate control circuits. So I'm going to snip a picture of that, just so I don't forget it. And then we can just head back to the overworld. How do I land here? There we go. Land back on Earth. And we're going to gather those resources to build the space station. Huh. We're really high up. We're usually not this high up. Why are we so high up? And there we go. Ultimate control circuit's done. I was just telling it how to make the capacitors. I think I have a few more patterns in here. Yep, there we go. Grab another stack of patterns. Throw that in here. Tell it to make the octadic, which, what is cheaper? I think this one using the glowstone is cheaper. Because this one takes a lot of plastic, so I think I'll just do this one. Put that in here. Now if I just grab a bunch of glowstone blocks, and throw that back in here. So now if I type in capacitor, we should be able to make 16 octadic capacitors, and we're missing a bunch of stuff. Oh right, this is the only thing I actually needed the conductive iron for, along with 16 glowstone, more energetic alloy, and plastic. Okay, not too bad. All stuff readily available, I just have to grab it. I think it's trying to do one of the chisel glowstones though, which I'll have to fix that. Alright, now there should be enough in here to make 16 octadic capacitors. Phenomenal. And what were the other things? I already forgot. Why did I take a picture? That's a good question. I should have just took the normal thing. Looks like it is all crafting spectacularly though, which is very nice. Alright fellas, just a quick trip to Venus. We're gonna grab ourselves some more solar dust. Shouldn't take too long, maybe like 30 minutes, I'm hoping. I hate Venus with a passion. Least favorite planet. Anyways, let's finish off the items we need for our space station. Now I am crafting a bunch of stone because we need to make a stack of tin wall blocks, which luckily isn't that difficult. It's literally stone and tin plates. So let's see how many we can actually make here. 40, so we're pretty much there. Let's see, we should have a bunch of tin available. Yep, so let's go ahead and turn this into a stack of tin plates. Where's my compactor? Here we go. Compact those guys. Should push it back in here. Actually, yep, there they go. Starting to push. So we just need one stack of these guys. Okay, now we just need 16, what are these? Enhanced machine chassis. Enhanced. 16 of these guys. 16 end steel chassis, plus 128 enderium, plus nothing. Okay, so let me cancel our stone here, cancel you, and make our 16 enhanced machine chassis. Okay, I threw them in manually, so they show up. Perfect. There we go. I think the issue with... I heard an Enderman. Okay, as long as it's not the creeper, I'm not worried. I have them set to ignore, and I think that's what causes the problem, because I think it tries to push 2 stacks of enderium into here, and then it just fails and doesn't try again for some reason. So just doing it manually fixes the issue. So there we go. 16 enhanced machine chassis, 16 octadic capacitors, 1 stack of tin wall blocks, 32 mana infused ingot, and 4... Huh? Oh, they only stacked to 4, that's why. And 16 ultimate control circuits. Alright, the rocket's ready to go. Let's build our space station. Now, luckily, I don't have to build a fuel loader on the space station. I could just jump off and literally fall back to Earth, which is really handy. Of course, we're not going to have any power up there, which will be interesting. So until I build another power source, maybe some more endergenic generators, we can't really do much. Now, did I actually bring Oxygen, yes. Oh, I left my other tank though. You know, the chest that has all of our oxygen tanks in it? Alright, overworld, create the space station. Overworld space station. Done. Launch. And we're here. We made, oh, uh-oh. I forgot, there's no gravity in here, so I have to be very careful about walking. Otherwise, I could literally fly away. Now, it does have our rocket in here. I'm going to need that in order to come back up here. Space station arrival block. But we're all set. This is our space station. Now, I think you're supposed to build a grapple hook. I think that's what I remember seeing. Yeah, grapple hook. Probably should have made one of these before I came. But now we're all set. The only thing I'm worried about is accidentally using the jetpack and flying upwards. But I think we should be fine. So let me... I don't actually know how to turn on hover mode. So let me turn this off, just so I don't accidentally fly away. Yeah, see, if you jump up just a little bit, you just keep going in that direction. And it's like impossible to actually turn around. Yeah, definitely need a grapple hook. Walking is pretty easy though. It's just going up and down is quite the problem. Now, how do I actually unlock this stuff? Well, here it is, your blank canvas for you to finish building. Make your ship now. It's not finished. Huh, that's weird. Oh, wait, what? Yeah, there's no check mark on it. Task, space station. It's a little annoying. Oh, like, see? Uh-oh. Oh, phew, I just bounced off. Where's the Earth? Where's the Earth at? So we're supposed to build our spaceship off of the space station, and it's supposed to have all these components. As you can see, the ship engines, the ship gyroscopes, the N-void shields, the FTL drive, the power supply, the cryosleep, the ship AI, and the unified logistics from 8E. Now, okay, there it is. There's the Earth. So I should just be able to jump down, and then we can come back up and build our spaceship next episode. Let's see, so let's try jumping off. Oh, and let me put on the jetpack just in case. So let's see, we are slowly descending downwards at a snail's pace. The wiki said if you fall below 32, yeah, there you go. It just works. But the quest didn't complete. I can see if it's going to work though, because I should be able to submit for this one, and if that one lets me do it, we should still be able to finish the pack. Now there's no tangible like things we have to do anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem, but I will need a grapple hook. Put you back up here. In order to actually traverse better on the space station, because as you can see, the lack of gravity was very annoying. Luckily, it's really cheap, so let me craft that real quick. Grapple hook. Bam. Maybe two, just in case. And then if I make another ultimate circuit... Oh, I didn't teach it how to break down a block of mana. So let me break down these and make another circuit. Let's see if I can submit this. Start. Craft that. It needs to make some vibrant alloy, but then it should be done. Yep, there we go. Circuit. Grab you. So now if I tell it to submit... Yeah, I can't submit it. Which is odd. Well, as you could see, the only thing technically you win is the cake. So we'll just have to do all of this manually, which isn't really a problem, as you could see, because they are really simple stuff. It's more about the spirit of the task, which is finish the comm disk, which is what this guy is for. So we're going to put this in this chest. So now we're going to consider that quest completed. Then we have to build an extreme reactor that can generate 250k we need to build an extreme reactor that can output a 250,000 RF per tick. We need to make envoid shields, which is about 5,000 RF per tick from these ender generators. I calculated it, it's about 10 ender generators. We're going to need a bunch of reactant dynamos to produce 50k RF per tick. I did the math, it's about 16 reactant dynamos if you cool them down using cryo-lithium. Same for this one over here. The simulation chambers is just crafting 48 simulation chambers, making 16 earth matter, hellish matter, and extraterrestrial matter, which is not that difficult. The cryogenic chamber is really cheap, as you can see, so that's not going to be difficult at all. The unified logistics is just an AE system in the ship. And I think that's it. Oh, the FTL drive, which is the endergenic generator. So we're going to have to generate about 50k RF per tick using the generators. This is actually the most difficult one to actually accomplish. So if we come out over here and take a look at this one. So this one, I think at max can do 15k RF per tick, assuming you have the storage for it. But it's so big, I can't actually figure out how to get it up higher to 50k. So I think we're just going to have to stack like 4 of them on top of each other to actually reach it. But it is that point in the episode where I think it's gone on quite long enough. Next episode, we're finishing the pack and building our rocket ship. Now, I did spend a long time in creative building a ship that I was happy with that actually incorporated all of the pieces from the endgame. Luckily, you can use the, what's it called? If you type gadget, if you type @gadgets, you can use the template manager to import builds from your creative world and then use the copy paste gadget to paste it. Now you can't copy paste stuff like the, what are they called? Like you can't copy paste pipes or anything that is seen as a tile entity. So most of the machines themselves I can't copy paste. I'm gonna have to build those modules in manually, but the entire exterior of the ship will automatically paste along with the bare bones interiors. So, as always, I'm your host, Hamas28, and I'll see you guys next time.